it's testing the broadcast still. I've never had this issue before. I think it's up. Is it up?
Let's see.
It says I'm live.
Uh,
Are we live?
Reload. Uh,
Alrighty.
there we go.
What's going on, everybody? Deputy Nathan here, and I'm being joined by my friend Johnny. Johnny, say hello.
Hello.
Alright,
I'm Johnny.
here's Johnny. Alright, so I want to get into a couple things before the stream starts. Yes, we're playing House Flipper for a little bit today. Um, So first being that I am changing all my content from children content to an adult kind of content. So to start that off today, what we're going to be doing is we're doing a Q&A. Johnny's going to be asking me a bunch of questions that he has, and you guys are going to learn a lot about me and a lot about what I do on a day-to-day basis. All right, Johnny?
Yeah.
All right. And you guys can also ask questions too. I do have chat opened up on my screen. So if you guys want to ask questions, I will pause Johnny and I'll answer those. But other than that, let me go ahead and make that live chat so I can actually see it when it comes in. All right, Johnny, go ahead and ask away while I flip this house.
All right. First off, first question is, what are you most passionate about?
I feel like I'm most passionate about like when I play games and whatnot, because
Okay.
a lot of people don't know this, but like I've been playing games ever since I was little, so
Mhm. All right. Um, Next question. What are the most important things to you in life?
there is like, are we talking about physical things?
Yes.
Okay,
Or I mean, it could be people. Could be like objects,
okay,
computers, whatever.
objects. I'd say one of the most important things to me in my life is my great grandmother actually owns a 1995 Pontiac Firebird convertible, beautiful red car, and it means a lot to me because it was hers and she got it when I was little. So I feel like that is something that I like. It's my prized possession almost, even though I don't own it yet. But one day I hopefully will receive it.
All right. How would you describe yourself as a person?
Um, I describe myself as, I don't know, honestly. That's a good question. Um, I don't know.
All right. What do you think you can do better at in today? Like right now, today, this second.
I feel like during my life I've had a lot of ups and downs, and I obviously know you don't know this, but like I've been bullied my entire life. So I have, it's been hard for me to keep friends when they are bullies. So I feel like one thing I feel like I could have done better is, like speak up for myself, Because I know a lot of people, like, they'll speak up for me, or at least a couple people will. But, like, I don't, I feel like I don't have what it takes in me to say something, like, whenever I have an issue with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if someone's saying something that is disrespectful or rude, I'll get a little upset, but I don't say anything, and I feel like that is something I should like get better at doing.
All right. Hold on. For some reason, I can't hear you anymore.
What do you mean?
Um, Hold on.
You can't hear me? What do you mean you can't hear me?
Hold on, Nathan.
Hello? Hey Johnny, if you're in the chat, let's go ahead and end the call and then restart it. Yep, there you go, Johnny. You understood. Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
All right, perfect.
Discord is so unpredictable.
It's a common thing.
Anyway, are you ready for the next question?
Yep.
All right. So look at yourself right now.
Mhm.
are you living your dreams, or are you going or living towards your dreams, or anything such as are you happy doing? Do you think?
That's the okay. That's something I actually wanted to bring up if you weren't gonna ask it. You know, you know, I was talking to you beforehand about how, you know, I don't live with both my parents. You know, and my dad's always, you know, he's out of town a lot of the time. So I am not living my dream, and I'm not working towards my dream at the moment because of, you know, it's just sad because you know, I don't live with my mom and my dad, but or I live with my dad, but I don't live with my mom. So it's difficult for me to be happy in these times because, you know, I've asked my mom if I can live with her and she said no to me. And, you know, I respect it, but, you know, I feel like for me to become happier is I plan to move when I'm 18. I plan to get a house with a friend. And I feel like once that happens, I'll be moving towards my dream more, you know, but you know that's going to be a little while. You know, that's a couple months away still.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the next few questions or question is going to tie in with a lot of other questions.
Hmm.
So we're just gonna go for one. Really. Um, if you had 1 day, 1 second, or if there was no tomorrow, what would you do?
I treat every day usually like it's my last day. You know, a lot of people will say like, "Oh, I'm afraid to die" and whatnot. I'm not afraid to die. You know, it's something that's nerve wracking to think about because you don't think like I usually thought before my great grandfather passed away 2 years ago, I didn't think anything, you know, I was like, oh, you know, when he dies, everything will be okay, you know. I didn't think it would be as bad as it was because I never lost somebody before, you know what I mean, that I actually knew and loved a lot like them. And when he passed away, it really hurt me. So I treat every day like it's the last day. You know, when I'm around other people, there, you know, you can get into a car accident at any moment when you're going home. You know what I mean? You can die in
Mm-hmm.
any type of car accident, you know? So when you say things like, you know, like I know it's I know this is going off the question, but when you say, "Oh, I hope you die," or "I hope this happens to you," you know, and you leave and you get a call the next day saying, "Oh, this person died." Now you have to live with yourself for the rest of your life knowing you said that, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And it sucks, but you did that to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I I can't lie. I've been there in my life where I said, you know, those kind of things, and I felt bad afterwards, you know, and I thought on my actions a lot as a kid, you know. I wasn't the best kid, but that doesn't mean I was, you know, yeah, I was disrespectful. Sorry about that. I was disrespectful as a kid, yes, but I never meant it as I grew up, you know, as an adult. You know, I don't mean that kind of stuff, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I
All
know
right.
I
Another
went very off
question.
topic, but
Yeah, I wouldn't say we went off topic. All right. So next question is, um, what advice would you give yourself if to yourself, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, or just a month ago,
I'd
that
say
maybe you thought you did something wrong that you could have done different?
I'm gonna tell you something, okay? And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If I could go back 3 years ago, if I can give myself advice 3 years ago from right now, I tell myself to live my life, you know, how it was before. Because when I was, you know, a couple years ago, you know, I wasted the entire summer looking for a girl. Okay? I'm not gonna lie, I did. I do it every year, and I kind of almost do it to this day. I waste my time thinking about it, and it never ends up happening because I feel like I don't have what it takes to go up and talk to somebody. I'm not very, you know, I'm not very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not, you know, I'm not comfortable in those kind of situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about it a lot, but you know, I never have, you know, went up to a girl and been like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" You know, it's usually whenever it's friends around when I feel okay and comfortable because, you know, when you're by yourself, you're like, "Oh, if they say no, you know, I'm going to be embarrassed and this and that." But, you know, that's at least that's what I thought. But, you know, if I can go back in time, I would tell myself, you know, don't worry about that. Worry about your life more. Because I've been depressed my half my life. I haven't always been happy. Yes, I may seem happy or okay when I'm like hanging out with you guys, on Discord, but when it comes down to it, I was depressed for many years. I know this is gonna get very sensitive real fast, but when I was like 12 years old, I told my parents when I turn 18 I'm killing myself. And I meant that for a very long time. And then one day I said, that's stupid. That was childish of me to say. And it is. And I'll take full responsibility for that. But at the same time, it's just when someone's depressed, they're never the way I look at it is they're never going to be. It's like almost an addict, almost. Once an addict, always an addict. All right. I don't care if you don't do it anymore, but you're still considered an addict because you did it at one point. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
once you get depressed, like yeah, you're not depressed anymore, but as far as I'm concerned, you still like you have a chance to be depressed again. It's not uncommon for that kind of stuff to happen where you're not depressed anymore and then you become depressed again. It is a very common thing because it relives your life as it was, because a lot of people will think, "Oh yeah, this is, oh yeah, that's how I lived my life, it was fine, yeah, I was upset, but this, and that." And it's not okay to live a life like that. And, I haven't been depressed in a while. And, a lot of people will say depression brings anxiety and suicidal thoughts. And yes, I was suicidal and I have anxiety to this day. I've always had anxiety. That's why I can't bring myself to talk to people, like I was saying before. But yes, if I can go back and tell myself one thing, it would be don't say things you don't mean or don't waste time on things that may not happen. Because I've done that to this day. I still to this day waste time on something that probably won't end up happening.
Hmm.
I feel like I touched enough on that subject.
All right. Next one. Um, is there a certain opportunity that you're looking for and working towards?
I want to do, there's a lot of things I want to do, and I want to become a real estate investor. Now, obviously, yes, when you become a real estate investor, yes, there's a lot of cash flow every month, but to start off, you have to have a job. And that's my thing is I don't want to go to college, and I'll tell you the reasons. The reason I don't want to go to college is because I don't want to be in debt. My mom is what, 40 years old or something like that now, and she's still thousands of dollars in debt. And she's a nurse. She makes, a decent amount of money, in a year. But at the same time, she's not able to pay off her debt, that fast. It's going to take a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks because, I say these things where, like, oh, I want to help people and whatnot. And, I can't. I want to be able to do things. I want, my dream right now is to give my great grandmother a brand new version of her car. She's got a 2005 Toyota Corolla. I want to get her like a 2017, 2018 Corolla, but I know that I can't do that because that is too expensive. But if I could, I would. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I would do anything for anyone before I do anything for myself. And I think that's the issue. Is that I'd rather, spend $100,000 on another person than on myself. And I feel like that's what my issue will be whenever I get into real estate investing is, wasting money on others before myself. I feel like that's how I would go broke.
Hmm. All right. On to the next one. Is there something that you're still holding on to that you think you should let go, or is there something that you think that you need to start, working on and starting to grab on to or something?
That is eh, yeah, everyone has those things where like, they should let go of something in their life or change in their life. But it I don't know. I feel like there's things I can't think of right now, but I know there are things like, I'd love to change a lot of things in life, but it doesn't it a lot of people will say like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to stop doing this." For example, smoking. It's very addictive. There is, not drugs, but like there's chemicals which act kind of like a drug. So when you first start smoking, you're like, "Oh yeah, I want to keep doing it. It makes me feel good." And then when someone says, "Oh, I'm going to stop," it's hard for them to stop. It doesn't happen overnight. And I feel like that's the issue in the world is people think that, "Oh, if I say this, it's going to happen tonight. I'm going to be done smoking tonight." And I think that's the issue.
All right. Um,
But
is
yes,
there
I
something
don't
that
have there's sorry to cut you off, but yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But yeah, continue.
all right. Is there anything that you want to achieve from a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, or even 10 years from now?
Within the next, 10 years or so, yeah, there's a lot of things I'd like to do. Like, for example, like I said, real estate investing and, having a family and whatnot, and being able to, afford to have a family because having a family isn't cheap by any means. And I'm pretty sure you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But, at the same time, not everyone has, $1 million just sitting to the side. That's not how that works. So, I feel like that would be my biggest, issue. And, I'd love to have a family, but it doesn't happen, like that. Yes, in 10 years, if I have a family, if I have a child, then they're probably only going to be 4, maybe 5 at most. People think 10 years, oh, that's a lot of that's a big number, so they'd be older. No, they'd be younger because when you meet a girl, you're not going to immediately have a child with them. You're not going to change your entire life in minutes. Like, that's not how this works.
Yeah. Um, what is your top priority right now?
Right now, my top priority is just keeping myself happy and doing things that, you know, keep me motivated. For example, I plan to go out of town to hang out with some friends soon. Things like that. That's what keeps me motivated to want to strive to do things, Because if I'm not wanting to strive to do things, I will lay in bed and I won't do anything for months, if I don't have to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with
Mm-hmm.
school being out right now and with all of the coronavirus and stuff, it's kept people, wanting having to stay in their homes and being in bed, be lazy, eat extra food, things like that, and I feel like, everyone can do it, so why not? You know,
Yeah.
it is, and especially with all the protesting and whatnot that's going on, like the rioting, I feel like that would be like the one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to do anything currently, is because it's not safe to go almost anywhere without, you know, having to worry about things.
Mm-hmm. All right. And if you were to die tomorrow, what is your biggest regret?
If I died tomorrow, my biggest regret would be not living the life that I've always wanted. The life that I've always wanted is, not luxury, but, living life to the fullest extent. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
want, I'm not, when I say living life crazy, like, I don't mean going out partying. I don't mean going out, doing flips over cars and whatnot. I just mean, like, hanging out with people, being able to meet people,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like a lot of people would be, yeah, they'll be sad when you're gone, but it depends, because yeah, like you said, you could anyone can die tomorrow. Let's just be honest. You know, anyone can die. You could die tomorrow. I could die tomorrow. Parents can die.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandparents can die. Anyone can die. Your animal can die. But that's besides the point. The point is, once they're gone, they're gone. There is nothing you can do. You can't resuscitate them after they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can try your best, but it's probably not going to work out because
Yeah.
once you go so long without breathing, your body's just not going to do anything. It's not going to help you.
Yeah.
And I'm getting off topic again, but that's just how I kind of feel about that.
Yeah. All right. What do you fear most about in life or just in general?
I have a couple of fears in my life. One being heights. I cannot stand heights because I'm bad at balancing. I would be really nervous and my ankles would give out probably, or my knees, and I would fall. That's why I don't like heights. Okay? And, it's not that I don't want to do things, it's just I can't stand heights. I'd love to go to the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and whatnot, but I can't. I can't take myself to go that high up in the air. That's just too high for me.
Yeah.
And then another thing
Um.
I'm really like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but another thing, like another fear of mine is like car accidents. I've never been in a car accident, and I'm grateful for it. But driving, I've had a lot of close calls. I'm pretty sure anyone on the road has had pretty close calls. I have a friend that got rear-ended and was involved in a hit and run. The guy hit her and then ran. But that's besides the point. The point is that I've never been in an accident, and I feel like I would freak out, have a anxiety attack because I wouldn't know what to do,
Yeah.
in that situation.
Hmm.
But yeah, go ahead.
Is there anything you are running away from at the moment, such as a goal that you want to chase, or that you're just running away from, or anything in that nature?
I am running away from. It feels like I'm running away from life almost. By doing what I want to do, because I would be losing. Like I wouldn't be with my family anymore, for example. Like I wouldn't be around them as much. So I feel like that would be something whenever I move out, because I plan to move like what is it, like an hour and a half or 2 hours away. And it's not that I hate them, it's just I grew away from them. I don't have a great relationship with my mom. Me and her never really had a really good relationship. Especially after she moved out, like when she left. We didn't have a great relationship, and I talked to her, every once in a while, like every other day, but I don't talk to her like I used to. Like I used to talk to her every single morning, because this is back when I went to school. Because as you know, I'm homeschooled. If you didn't know,
Hmm.
but yeah, like I talked to her every day because she took me to school. She drove me to school until I was in fifth grade. And remind you, I'm a senior now, so or I'm going to be. And it's just it sucks because yeah, it was 7 years ago that it happened, but like when I first became homeschooled, she was like super supportive about it, you know. And the reason why I'm homeschooled, by the way, is because I was bullied a lot, and you know, I appreciate what she's done in my life, but what I don't appreciate is the way she talks to me sometimes. And I feel like I just don't like telling her that because I don't want to make her more mad. She's already always upset with me, so why make someone upset more than just like letting it go? If you just let it go, don't talk to them. Just, don't make the situation worse.
Hmm.
I love her to death. Like if I heard like, oh, she passed away or whatever, I'd be there in a heartbeat. If I found out anything happened to her, yeah, I'd be there in a heartbeat. But until then, like if she ever wants to call me and ask me for something, like for help with something, for example, I'll say, like, yeah, I can come help you, or, I can do that with you, or whatever. It's not, I don't want to see her again. It's just, I don't want to be in that situation where, you know, everyone's upset with each other and no one wants to be happy. Because that's the reason why I'm doing this, is because I want to be happy, and me being happy would be more important than anything else right now.
Yeah. Next thing. Um, what are the biggest actions you can take now to create the biggest results in your life?
Like I said, like this would be a result in my life that would change a lot of things. Like me leaving would help me get to my dreams. where I don't have to worry about, arguing with somebody all day, every day, and everyone being upset and just upset with everybody and depressed about everything. I feel like that would be the way, to change, to make myself, get to my dreams. It would motivate me more. And I feel like, staying here wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Um, what drives you into the day and gets you through the day?
What drives me and gets me through the day, honestly, just friends.
Yeah, and
You know,
that's
being
that
able
that's a great answer.
being able to talk to, like, for example, I talk to you, what, every other, almost every day basically. And especially now that we're going to be hanging out more again, after what happened. I'm not going to get into it on stream, but after what had happened, me being able to hopefully come back, we're going to be able to hang out more and do more things together. So it would be a lot better if me and you had like a great, friendship together, and that's why I hang out with you so much now, and that's why I invited you onto my stream to, because I'm pretty sure here eventually I'll be streaming content from, hopefully, and I feel like that would be something that me and you would be doing a lot, is doing that, and that's why I wanted to get you around, my fan base, so that way you would understand like what we do.
Yeah, and I plan on being a streamer too, which is awesome, and I really do look forward to it, and it is really a good thing to do.
Hmm.
And yeah. Are you ready for the next one?
Yep.
How can you change somebody's life for the better today? So it could be friends, family, anything.
Honestly, I helped change someone